friends, it's Allison. Welcome to another episode of Allison's Eats. I'm so excited for today's episode because I am sharing one of my favorite and go-to recipes, and that is my healthy and spicy vegetarian chili. I will show you where you can kind of cut down on the spiciness if you don't love spicy stuff like I do. So that is totally an option. It's definitely customizable, but I really hope you enjoy this recipe. It is incredibly affordable, especially for how much food you do make. And I'm also going to show you how I make my baked potatoes as well, because it's such a yummy pairing to have a warm bowl of chili and then a warm hearty baked potato. Such a comfort food kind of meal, but staying healthy at the same time. So let's get into it. For this recipe, you'll need 1 yellow onion, 3 cloves of garlic, 2 green bell peppers, 2 jalapenos, vegetable broth, 1 cup of salsa of your choice, 1 can of diced and fire roasted tomatoes, 2 cans of kidney beans, 1 can of black beans, 1 can of pinto beans, 2 cans of corn, a bag of russet potatoes, some cheddar cheese, sour cream or Greek yogurt for topping, salt and pepper, cumin, red pepper, onion powder and garlic powder, and some cayenne pepper, which is totally optional. All right, friends, the apron is on and I'm ready to go. So the first thing I'm gonna do is cut up my onion and my garlic. And I actually cut up a bit more garlic than what my recipe calls for, just because I love a lot of garlic, but I know some people don't like this much garlic. So I just said 3 cloves at the least, because I want you guys to be able to taste it. But that's what I'm saying. These recipes that I'm sharing are so customizable. And I'm also gonna do 3 jalapenos instead of 2, and you might wanna do 0 jalapenos. So do what works best for you, but I'm just sharing my version. So I'm gonna cut these up and then add them to my crock pot. I'm also gonna put a little tiny bit of olive oil just to kind of help it start to saute a bit when the crock pot gets all heated up. And then I just washed my peppers, my green peppers and jalapenos, and I will cut those after my onions and garlic. I'm always a mess when I'm cutting onions. I can't even open my eyes right now because I'm crying so much from the onion juice in the air. Oh my gosh. I really need to get goggles. I need to learn my lesson because this happens every time. Crock pot is getting so full already, and this is just veggies. So like I said, very healthy recipe. And now we're gonna add our vegetable stock and all of our beans and our diced tomatoes and corn. Again, you really just chop and dump. That's basically all this recipe is. It's so easy. And regarding cooking times, you can cook your chili for basically all day if you want. So if you want to make it before work, you can just dump everything in your crock pot and then put it on the low setting for 8 hours. So by the time you get home from work or classes, if you're in college, you will have a lovely dinner waiting for you. Or if you just kind of want to do it a little more speedy, you can turn it on high and cook it for at least 4 hours, and that's what I'm gonna do today. And then I'm gonna make my baked potatoes an hour before I plan to eat dinner. Okay, so I'm gonna pour in 2.5 cups of vegetable broth. You can use chicken broth or whatever kind of broth you want if you don't care about making it vegetarian or vegan. Yeah, this is actually a vegan recipe, which is pretty cool. But you better believe I'm gonna add some cheese at the end. So you can just skip that step if you wanna make it completely vegan. Or get some vegan cheese. They have lots of good options nowadays. Ooh, I'm using my other vegetable broth as a tripod. So I'm gonna need to put you guys down because gotta fill it up. Okay, I just drained all of my beans and the corn. The only canned good that you don't drain is your diced tomatoes. So that's all good to go, but before I add in my beans, I'm actually gonna add in some of my seasoning right now just because I wanna make sure the veggies get some seasoning, because once I add in all my beans, my crock pot is gonna be very, very full. Also, I'm gonna link my exact crock pot and the size I have. I'm not quite sure, so I'll have to like double check just so you guys know, and you can guarantee that this recipe will fit in your crock pot, because I would hate for you guys to like try to fit it and then your crock pot's too small, because this is like a pretty big meal prep and we're gonna be eating this chili for the next 4 nights for 2 people. So it is a hefty meal, and I'm about to tally up my receipt from yesterday because I'm so interested to see how much everything cost put together, because again, it's such an affordable meal. I love it so much. So for my seasoning, I honestly eyeball it, and again, I know that is so not helpful, but it's just what I do, and I am very generous with the seasoning, so I'll just show you guys how much I do. And in the description below, I always put the directions for my recipes, and I will just put ballparks for how much seasoning I think I do, but I just want to be completely transparent that I really do eyeball it. And the first one I'm going to add is some ground cumin, but I am going to add some more after I add in my beans. I'm gonna take some onion powder, do a bit of that, garlic powder, cayenne pepper, and again, if you don't like spicy food, don't add in the cayenne pepper, or just do a tiny, tiny bit. And then red pepper flakes. If you don't like spicy, don't add these either. Okay, and then last but not least, some salt and pepper. And we have the fresh ground pepper, and it tastes way better, and some sea salt. And now our veggies will get nice and seasoned. Looking good. I just had a crazy sneeze attack because whenever I put like a lot of spices, it just gets in the air, and so there's just spice debris floating around our apartment, and it's irritating my nose, but I'm really excited to eat this later. But we do have one more ingredient, and that is a cup of salsa. So I have a 12-ounce can of salsa, so I'm just gonna eyeball 8 ounces, but this is where you can get really creative and fun and kind of switch it up, because even though you might make this vegetarian chili, you can buy a different salsa every time to kind of, again, just switch it up and make it exciting. So I just bought this Trader Joe's Salsa Authentica, really simple, but in the past I've gotten like chipotle salsas or garlic lime salsas, and it tastes good every time. So you can have fun with it and kind of get out of the norm with your salsa choice. Okay, our chili's all good to go, so I'm just gonna let that cook up for 4 hours, and in the meantime, I am going to wash all my russet potatoes and get them ready to bake. I might look up an air fryer recipe. I've never tried to make baked potatoes in my air fryer before. I know you can actually make it in your crock pot too. You can make baked potatoes so many different ways. I know you can microwave them as well, but I'll either do the oven or the air fryer, and I'll show you guys how I'm gonna do that. But I just tallied up my receipt to see how much all of my ingredients cost all put together. And yesterday I did buy all of these ingredients from Trader Joe's, so it is a little more expensive instead of like going to Walmart, but still so affordable. And everything all together, including my ingredients for my baked potatoes, which included my sour cream, which I use plain Greek yogurt instead of sour cream, all of that was $18. A little less, but I just rounded up to $18. And again, we're gonna have this for the next 4 nights for 2 people, so that's 8 meals. So 18 divided by 8, that's $2.25 per meal. That is so affordable, and this is such a filling meal. I'm just such an advocate, and it's just so nice to have a meal like this where if you're kind of like on a tight budget or trying to save money one week, just cook some chili and baked potatoes and have a delicious dinner, and also have the satisfaction of knowing you saved a bunch of money. Alright friends, so I did find a recipe on how to make baked potatoes in my beloved air fryer, so that is what I'm going to do. It's pretty straightforward, and no worries if you don't have an air fryer, you can totally use your oven or even microwave. There's tons of instructions out on the internet of how to do that, and basically cooking the baked potatoes in the air fryer is the same as the oven. It's gonna take 40 minutes, so it still takes a good chunk of time. But the pro is that it's more efficient because you don't have to wait for the air fryer to preheat, because all you do is plug it in and voila, it's already cranking, ready to go. I'll link my air fryer down below too. It's one of my favorite things ever. So such a great invention. So I have all of my baked potatoes in my air fryer basket already, and I washed them and brushed them so all the dirt and griminess is off of them. And my air fryer basket is quite heavy, so that's something to keep in mind. Let's make my basket quite heavy, which will be a little tricky to get in and out, but for the most part, they're just gonna stay in the whole time. So what I'm gonna do now is coat them with some olive oil, some sea salt, and maybe some garlic salt. And I also have this like steak seasoning. It doesn't have any meat in it or anything, which would be so weird. Let me find it. It's this Montreal steak seasoning, and basically it's just salt, garlic, spices, including black and red pepper, onion, sunflower oil, and paprika, and it's really yummy. I like the flavor it gives off. So I'm gonna do some of that and some sea salt, but make sure you coat it with your cooking oil, olive oil, or avocado oil first so that the seasoning can kind of stick to your potatoes. Alright, so I just turned my air fryer on, and I'm putting the temperature all the way up to 400, which is the highest temperature that my air fryer goes to. And then I am doing 40 minutes. But actually I'm gonna just check them at 30 minutes to make sure that everything is going smoothly. Okay, these are how my potatoes are looking after 30 minutes. They smell amazing, and they look like they're getting nice and crispy. I definitely want to give them 10 more minutes, but my fork is going in pretty smoothly, but they definitely could use a little bit more time. Also, the chili is smelling heavenly as well, and it's getting nice and toasty. I'm going to take it off. I was gonna just say warm, but I'm actually gonna turn it off completely just because Brandon's about to be home and we'll probably eat in about 30 minutes, and it seriously is boiling hot. So I want it to be able to cool down so we don't burn our mouth. Dinner. Brandon's so hungry, poor thing. He was so busy at work, he didn't even eat lunch. So this is a highly anticipated meal. How do you feel about it? Even though I've made this 100 times already. It's steaming. Is it gonna burn your mouth?
It's not too hot.
What I'm really curious about is the baked potato. The skin is super crispy from the air fryer. I didn't put any butter on it. I just put yogurt and cheese. Will you try it? And the skin is so crispy. It's so yummy. Yeah. I need to make French fries. I've made sweet potato fries before, but wow. The russet potato skin, so yummy. I also love to put my baked potato, like little bits of it, in the chili and kind of have a bite of the baked potato and then a bite of the chili. Super great combo. You gonna try it? Is that yummy? Mm-hmm. So good.
It's cooked well.
You should put some butter on it. Butter makes everything better. And thank you guys for watching this 4th episode of Allison's Eats. I hope you enjoyed it. Can't wait for the next one. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.
Bye.